Hello and thank you so much for clicking and for watching this match reaction video. It has finished Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2. Manchester is red once again in the Manchester derby. United have gone to the Etihad and once again they have taken 3 points just like last season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deserves so much credit. He's come under a lot of criticism on multiple occasions this season. We've not been in the best of form recently. A lot of draws over the last month or so. But job done, and they were worth the 3 points today. I thought from start to finish they were excellent. I thought we got off to the perfect start. Martial ran the show today. You just wanted him to score. He had a chance and Edison denied him, but his all-round game today was brilliant. The link up between Rashford and Martial was really good. Rashford, of course, going off with an injury, so hopefully it's nothing too serious. He has been playing with an injury, and we all know that. And sometimes I think we forget that he is playing with an injury, and that's probably why that probably contributes to why his form hasn't been, or his performances haven't been at the level that we expect them to be. But Manchester United, Greenwood came on. I thought he did really well. And really, I don't think City can have too many complaints. I thought, yes, they had a lot of the ball and they had a couple of half chances, but really, I think they played into Manchester United's hands today. And it was a very similar performance to the one that we had at the Etihad last season when we won 2-1. But you do come away from these games, you're really happy because you've won the derby. Yes, City are going to win the league, and we've cut it down to 11 points. And unless they implode, or unless they go on a kind of a run that Liverpool are on, have been on at the moment, then City have won the title. But it does put us in a good position for second place. Yes, there's only a point between us and Leicester now, but in terms of the top four, in terms of finishing second, I think this is something that we can build on now. And a lot of games this season, with the exception of Tottenham, against the so-called top six teams, we haven't scored. We had 2 goalless draws with Chelsea, a goalless draw with Liverpool, a goalless draw at Old Trafford with Manchester City. We scored 1 against Tottenham and lost 6-1. And we failed to score in both games against Arsenal, losing 1-0 at home and drawing 0-0 away in one of the worst performances and the dullest games of the season. So, we have to build on this now, and I think for me, the most frustrating thing is we know based on our last few performances against Manchester City, with the odd exception in the League Cups, we know that we can go toe to toe with Manchester City, and Ollie has found a way to beat Pep. Ollie's found a way. He knows how to do it. Not saying it works all the time, but the vast majority of the time over the last couple of seasons it's worked. And it's just frustrating when you're celebrating winning that game, but then you look back at games over the last month and you look at the performances and you go, Sheffield United, well, what happened there? Then you look at the way we squandered that lead against Everton. You look at the game against West Brom. You look at the game against Chelsea last week. You look at all these games and you think none of those teams could cope with us if we play the way that we have done today. None of them will be able to cope. We've got enough pace up front to cause teams problems, and that is where our main strength is. We've got goal scorers. We can score goals. We're the top scorers in the league. Scored the most goals in the league. We are devastating, but we don't utilise our attackers enough. We don't create enough chances in games. Certainly over the last month we haven't. And it's just so frustrating when you see that you see certain games like that one today where you think, this is the level that we can play at. We can play at this level. And the majority of the time, again, we play at this level. And occasionally we rise to this level. That sets the standard. That set the standard today. I thought we were brilliant today, all over. I can't fault anyone. In the first half, maybe I could fault McTominay because I thought he gave the ball away. a few times, and it made me nervous. And I'm a big Scott McTominay fan. I'm one of the people that defends him when he comes in for criticism because I really like Scott McTominay. I think he's a really important player for us. What he does for us, the way he breaks up the play. Um, I really like Scott McTominay. I think he's one of our best players, and I think he comes in for a lot of unfair criticism because a lot of people want to see Donny van de Beek. So when Ollie plays McTominay and Fred, of course, those two players, particularly McTominay, will get this, what I think is negativity, this criticism, and I don't think that's fair. And I just think he's a workhorse for the team. And so that was probably my one criticism of him today. In the first half, he gave the ball away a few too many times. But really, thought we were a better team today. And, Manchester City, for as good as they've been, teams are afraid to play against Manchester City. It's that thing of, for me, when I look at a lot of teams, I feel like they're beaten before they even go on the pitch, because there's this sort of psychological hold that Manchester City that all the big teams seem to have over these teams. And what's frustrating is you've seen Manchester City, they can't cope. If you get at them, if you really get at them, if you hustle them, if you press them, don't let them play their game. And that's why what frustrates me about a lot of teams is they just if you let Manchester City have the ball, if you just let them have the ball and dictate the tempo of the game, it's frustrating to watch when it's like, go and have a go against them. They're not unbeatable. They shipped 5 against Leicester earlier this season. They lost 2-0 to Spurs. We've beaten them. They're not unbeatable. They're not this sort of, but it's in the mind of these teams that they're this all-conquering force. They're not. Any team can be beaten, and Manchester City are no exception. And I think, for me, it's frustrating when teams won't even compete against them because they're scared of getting blown away. They're scared of conceding goals, and it's frustrating. And we didn't do that today. I thought it was frustrating, the 0-0 earlier in the season in the league against them, where, to be fair, both teams were really cautious and seemed to be happy to play for the draw. But today we didn't play for the draw. We went at Manchester City and we deserved it. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka, wonderful performance today. But Luke Shaw, let's talk about Luke Shaw. He's had so many issues with injuries. He's in and out of the team over the last few seasons. His form has not really, as sort of, he gets going with his form and then there's a drop off and then there's an injury. It's very stop-start. But now he is putting in those performances, 8, 9, 10 out of 10 performances week in and week out. And for me, he's been our best player of the season. I know Bruno is the obvious choice, the obvious candidate. But for me, Luke Shaw has been our player of the season. He really has. And I thought today he took his goal really well. Brilliant play, and Rashford picks him out, and you think, oh, and he just hits it just low, perfect shot. Edison, I don't think he was expecting it. I wasn't expecting it. I thought he was gonna pass it, but just hit it low and sweet. And Manchester United never looked back from there, really. We could have had, I thought, 3 or 4 based on our second half performance. But if you'd have said to me before the game, we'll go to City, we'll get a clean sheet, and we'll win 2-0, I would have snapped your hand off. So that's a really positive result today, and we've needed this performance. We've needed this performance for a while now. Yes, before Christmas we were getting the results, performances were improving, but that for me was a complete performance from back to front. Dean Henderson looked really comfortable today in goal. I understand from what I've been reading that he's going to be in goal for the next at least 6 games. And I've also read that, whether this is true or not, that Pochettino wants to take De Gea to PSG. So maybe that's necessary now, because in the games that I've watched Henderson this season, with the exception of that mistake he made against Sheffield United earlier in the season, I think he's looked confident, looked comfortable, and you're only going to find out if he is capable of being our number one by making him number one. And I think now we're seeing the emergence of Dean Henderson. I think David De Gea has been a great servant, but he's made a lot of mistakes over the last couple of seasons, and I think his time is coming to an end. And good luck to him. He stayed with us when he had the chance to go to Real Madrid. I think he could have gone, and you wouldn't begrudge him that because that's his boyhood club. It was his dream, and he stayed with Manchester United. He's won his. He was our Player of the Year on numerous occasions. But I think now is the time for Dean Henderson to step up, and I think that Ollie has a big decision in the summer. He has to make that choice, because Henderson is not the kind of goalkeeper that's going to just stick around. I read somewhere the other day that Tottenham are after him. You don't want him going to a rival either. He's got the potential to be our number one for the next 10 years. So we'll see. But Manchester United worth the win today. I'm so happy with that. Not just the result, but the performance. It all came together today. Ollie has won another Manchester derby. He's taken points off Pep again. And who knows? Maybe we'll get them. Should we progress in the FA Cup? Who knows? Maybe we'll get them in the FA Cup. But let's take one game at a time. We've still got Leicester, of course, to get past if we want to get through to the next round in the FA Cup. But Manchester United have won. Once again, I will say this: Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2. I'm so happy because we've not been performing, and we've not been performing to the level that I know we can do over the last month, over the last few weeks. We've won today by 2-0. Say it again. If you haven't subscribed, why not subscribe? Drop me a like, and of course, leave any thoughts, comments, and feedback that you have on this video or any of the others. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all soon.